Hello, and welcome to Shaheen and Erica's Shit Show Extravaganza. My name is Shaheen, and thinking about this introduction stresses me out.
And hello, my name is Erica, and the biggest stressor of my life at the moment is Shaheen's weird nipple.
You betrayed my trust. You betrayed my friendship. I asked you, does it have anything to do with my nipples? And you said, not to my face, but to the
No,
mic. It has nothing to do with my nipples. Yet here you
but
go.
it has everything to do with your weird nipple.
They're not fucking weird. They're normal nipples. 20 likes, and I'll share them on social media.
Guys, dislike, two dislikes, and I'll share them.
Wait, hold
Not
up.
any more than that, because my fragile heart can't
Yeah.
take it.
But yeah, my nipples are normal. But which episode do they have to listen to so that they could fear factor with nipples? You'll listen to that one, and you'll understand how unfair her assessment of my nipples are.
I think it's pretty valid.
I'm in pain. Anyway, first of all, welcome back, Erica.
Thank you.
It's been a week. Well, I guess 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's special episode. And we decided to, from now on, acknowledge any comments coming in. Because usually we don't that much, but we got these three. And that's pretty cool. Top comment goes to my boy Albert from episode 4. You should go check that out if you haven't. He says, "Now this is my kind of content." Thank you, Albert. I'm glad that this is your kind of content. Also, I miss you. Text me. Erica, would you like to add anything else?
Thanks for the comment.
Wow, such a grasp of the language. Alex also said, "I'm miserable about inside jokes that I don't understand." Same. I know I've already responded to these, but I'm glad that you listened through the video and found one that makes sense. And then to Said, who also commented, referencing JoJo, yes, this video is not in the video itself, but in the description and the title has lots of JoJo references. Why? Because it's JoJo. It's a meme. But yeah. Now, on to this week's episode. What will we be discussing this week, Erica?
Stress.
Yeah, with an accent. That's how good it is. So sometimes the reason why we started this topic is literally when we were discussing what topic we should talk about. This is what... Should I read exactly what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said, what do you want to discuss for the pre-finale? Ooh, you guys didn't expect that. We'll discuss that later. And then she said, why am I so ducking grumpy lately? And I said, is that a topic suggestion or just a general statement? She said, both. And then I will continue. I just ate spicy food and my mouth hurts so much. And I know my asshole's gonna, but just as much. It's gonna, but, are you supposed to say hurt just as much?
Yeah.
But, also on the topic of Erica's texting, Erica is an English major with a tremendous grasp of the English language, but she texts with probably both eyes closed because I receive aneurysms every time I try to read them. It's amazing. I would go through a list, but we'll keep that for another time just in case we ever need to. If she ever brings up my nipples again, we have to have a nipples versus texting storyline.
See, here's the thing. I can fix my taxi.
I can fix my nipples. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing to fix, okay? They are normal nipples. Ask Alex. Not Alex May, Alex Chung. Alex May doesn't want to talk about my nipples, probably.
Because you're weird.
No, because he's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't want to delve into those kind of conversations, probably. I don't know if he changed.
Or he thinks your nipples are weird.
No, he doesn't. Alex, comment below. Are my nipples weird? I'll send you a picture.
Alex, I'll give you $5 if you say
I'll
more.
give you $5.25 if you just advocate for my nipples. It's like they're running for president. So now that we narrowly dodged another conversation about nipples,
Okay, anyway.
stress. Yeah. So sometimes you get one of those days, whether it's work, school, your life, or just breathing. Sometimes existing is just pain. You you want to have, each person has a different way of dealing with that kind of stress. So, Erica, in a stressful situation, well, first of all, what factors that give you stress on a daily basis or frequently?
Um, so I guess there's different type of stresses, but oh, um, most things that are time sensitive stress me out.
Like deadlines?
Um, yeah, deadlines, things that I'm being evaluated for. So like at my other job, like not the teaching one, but the smoothie one, the yama use.
The Yama use.
I say that to my mom, and she's like, she can't say it. I don't know what's wrong with her. she can't mimic the yama use. And then her favorite smoothie is the peanut butter mood, and so I say yada yud.
Ew.
she can't she can't
Yeena?
say it.
You said
Yena,
Yeena? Why?
Yena,
Why does that sound dirty?
yada yud, and she's like, she can't say it right. But anyways, we'll have like food inspectors or another like thing called EquaSure. They'll come and like check to see if our store is up to standard, like up, like basically running as it should. That stuff stresses me out a lot. Uh, Thinking about my future stresses me out.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about my decaying relationship stresses me out. Thinking about money stresses me out. Oh God, like you get basically living
Yeah.
stresses
Existence is
me out.
suffering, is what people say.
Yes, that's deep.
Is what I have tattooed in the inside of my ass cheeks, meaning that you can only see it in a
You
certain
made
angle.
someone do that. You
Yeah.
made someone pull apart your ass cheeks and tattoo that.
The thing is, he
You
paid
want?
me to do it, so I don't. Uh,
Ew.
but yeah,
I
100 likes, and I'll post it on social media. I'm joking.
I don't. Okay, if I'm being honest, like I don't know if people notice it. Maybe they do, but I'm very prone to stress. Like I stress out very easily. I think I've managed to hide it better, than some people. But if you ever see me getting like pissy, like in a bad mood, chances are it's because I'm super stressed out and I don't know how to keep my emotions under control. Yeah, that's it.
And what do you do? What are things that help you in relieving said stress?
Um, I typically there's so much that I do, but none of it productive, so I'm kind of sad. I guess usually when I'm stressed, I kind of like not kind of like I like to eat. Like stress eating is just it's my go-to, really honestly. And then I'll I guess like recently like I had a big stressor in my life that I don't want to delve too deep into, but because of that I started playing Final Fantasy. So I guess video games, like basically anything that's immersive where I don't have to think about my life. It's what I
In a
do.
sense, that is like an escapism, kind of.
Yeah. So I don't have to think about it, all that jazz.
Yeah, I think that's a I mean, that's what most people look for when they're stressed, is kind of putting themselves in a bubble of things that they're comfortable with, whatever that may be.
Hmm.
So dealing with stress, yeah, you kind of do have that sense of escapism to kind of put yourself in a very comfortable situation. And the thing is, it's usually not just one thing that is stressful. Like you said, you just said like everything, everything is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing with me because it's not, I don't get stressed out by tasks in a sense. I get stressed out by maybe the lack thereof. Some one you said was thinking about my future is often very stressful.
Mm.
And just breathing and waking up in the morning. Like, I hate having migraines. And I've been having them more frequently since I came back. Uh, and I think that's just my body subconsciously adding stress to me, even if I don't think too hard about it. Uh, it's weird when, because usually when you have a headache, what do?
Take pills.
Hello?
I said I'm a pill popper.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, you pop pills, coffee.
Oh yeah.
Um, but usually, if you don't have anything to do that day, you can take a quick nap, a power nap.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you fix a migraine that you had right after sleeping? Like I slept through the night. I woke up with a migraine. Like if I go back to sleep, it's not gonna fucking help. That's where I was when I was feeling
Yeah.
the pain.
I get those a lot
Uh,
frequently, and I think it's probably because I'm dehydrated. Like I'm not
mm,
getting enough water. I don't know
yeah.
if it's the case for you, but it's hotter. It's getting hotter now for me, and so I sweat more in my sleep. So
Hmm.
I'm probably just dehydrated.
Maybe. I also got out of the habit of drinking too much water before going to bed because I wet my pants. I'm joking. I frequently have to wake up and go to the bathroom. It's kind of sleep over and
I
over again.
see.
Probably it's the diabetes. I don't have. I'm just kind of, probably someday. I don't know. No, I'm
Okay.
pretty decently
I don't know what
healthier these days.
I don't know why you're psyching yourself out right now. Like there's no reason to. You know, you don't have to worry about the future because there won't be one.
You right.
Yeah.
You right.
The earth is dying.
If the if global warming doesn't kill us, which by the way, Kuwait in general is closer to suffering the effects of global warming than other places. Considering that we're reaching temperatures that even hell itself is getting scared. The global warming doesn't kill us. The impending nuclear war between the U.S. and Iran could kill us.
Yep.
Perhaps World War III with North Korea could end us. Maybe. And for those religious peeps out there, the apocalypse is ever looming closer. We're just ready to say goodbye, you know. Um, on a more positive note, no, impossible. This is a very stressful episode. Um, Usually, when I'm thinking about the future, what am I going to do next? I even discussed it in the episode, the 17, episode 17, when I was saying how I used to have dreams of my teeth falling out, not being able to move forward, not being able to be productive. I hate not being able to be productive in any way, shape, or form. It is um, annoying to me. And I don't mean like just by working, because work for me is a good distraction. When I used to work in the office, as opposed to now kind of working uh, on marketing, which is at home. I go to meetings every now and then, but not too. Um, but like, if I don't do something productive, I go crazy. And the thing is, with these migraines that may or may not be from dehydration or from stress,
Mm-hmm.
I can't be productive if I have a migraine. Like I cannot get into the mindset because like we have the podcast, which is easy to work through a migraine because I don't get them when I'm talking to friends. I'm usually in a better mood. And we have Happy Coca Films that we just started. which, like, working on projects for that is usually pretty exciting for me, but I need to get out of the migraine situation. And probably the most important project that I had was writing the story that I always wanted to write. And that takes a lot of time, lots of effort. And if I'm not in the right mindset, I can't work on it. So that's a bummer. But I realized the best way for me to kind of stress is honestly playing video games. I don't play as much video games as I used to, but maybe I play 3-4 hours a week.
Oh.
And in those, I usually just start playing whenever I need to kind of get a few whatever out, whatever it is that's in my system that needs to go out. Video games usually do the trick. I have no other solution aside from being with good company or friends, or usually hanging out with people kind of relieves that kind of stress, because that's my form of escapism. And I think it also links to perhaps my shitty GPA and academic performance back in college, considering that I used to basically surround myself with friends 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I did it is because whenever I'm alone, my thoughts are very stressful. Just thinking about life and future and everything is such a painful place to be. And being able to forget that, or even think about it in small doses where you get to sit down with friends and kind of get whatever you have out of you. Does this mean that I need a therapist? Probably. But it's weird when someone is paid to listen to you as opposed to someone who wants to be there and listen to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm more cautious with a therapist. But yeah, I think it's just doing things that I enjoy and being productive in the things that I am passionate about make me feel alive, and that relieves whatever stress I had to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I got to say about being a stress boy.
Snaps to that.
Yeah. But well, okay. So one of the answers, I know we're not going to People's Choice Awards, but this answer stands on its own. A lot of them repeat, and we mentioned a few, but we're going to delve into them later on. But one of the answers that I told you I wanted to discuss was the what did I say? Shaking hands with the milkman. Mm-hmm. Which, if you guys don't understand what that means, it means the masturbation. Or I guess instead of masturbation, sex could also jump in. Those are known factors to relieve stress. But, like, I mean, clearly as a virgin, I don't know. I don't know if... Because, okay, so you know how exercise is also a stress reliever?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever tried using any form of... I know you don't like running, but any form of exercise. But sometimes when I'm, like, for example, if I have a migraine, I'm stressed out, and I try to do exercise. If I don't maintain a certain... Like, I need to have, like, go for a while. You know what I mean? Because if I don't, the high... Because you get high off of... what is it? Endorphin? No, is it endorphins?
Yes. Wait, no.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Can you come closer?
Sorry, I was thinking about depression. I was thinking serotonin. Yeah, it's endorphins.
Serotonin. Okay. So yeah, the high from serotonin. I feel like if it's not me,
it's endorphins. I was thinking of depression though.
Oh, that's what you mean. I thought you were like dozing, like you were away with it.
Endorphins.
Endorphins?
Oh, I spelled it wrong. Yeah, endorphins.
Yeah. So if the endorphins get high, you get an endorphin high, and it goes back down before it has a chance to kind of, I guess, fully take you don't have the chance to fully take it in. It just hurts my head even more. So I don't know, assuming even in sexual activities, if you're a person that doesn't last long in bed, which apparently what I heard is mostly the case. I don't know if that's like a temporary solution for stress, or maybe, I don't know, perhaps more than endorphins go into sex. Isn't there something called, I don't know, love or something? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but
never heard of
yeah.
her.
So perhaps that might help, because if being around people you like is a solution, then I guess it could be the case here too. What else? What do you think is a stress reliever of some sort that it hasn't been discussed already amongst people?
Talking it out. I don't think that's been mentioned, but I don't think people do that. No one does anything that's healthy nowadays, like talking your stress out. They'd rather keep it bundled up inside until they explode.
Do you think, because it depends on how healthy your friendship, because sometimes people that complain, quote unquote, complain a lot, consider themselves burdens to their friends, that all they do is complain about their life or about whatever they're stressed about, you know?
Yeah.
And they're worried that their friends might be talking shit, like, oh man, not this person again who's keep complaining and complaining and complaining.
That's
why don't they see a fucking therapist?
They should see a therapist. But I understand therapists cost money. So, kind of have to work to get a therapist. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go see one. You have to, like...
Unless you're friends with one, to which they make you uncomfortable.
Well, because even then, like, you could find a therapist and they might not be the right fit for you. Like, you don't like their approach to therapy. So it's not like it's the easiest thing to do, but sometimes you, like, the only place you can really put that burden is on your friends. But that's what being a friend is kind of dealing with that. I mean, at some point, being a better friend would be like, listen, talking is only halfway through it. You need, like, find a way to get over it. Because it does not, like, it helps to, rant and complain, but it can only do so much. Like, I think there's a point in our lives where we need people to push us to be better people, be our better selves. So, rather than staying with the status quo, they push us to be more than that. That's just my opinion, though.
This episode has been sponsored by BetterHelp.com.
Is that a thing?
You don't know BetterHelp?
No.
Okay, this is not sponsored, but might as well educate. BetterHelp.com is a website in which it's like, so you do a month. I think a month. There's a planned payment. I don't know how much. It's not that expensive, is what I heard. And also, a lot of YouTubers are supporting it. So there's a lot of those discounted deals, first few months off or whatever. And basically, they connect you with a therapist. I think they do some tests to find the perfect one for you. And even if you're not comfortable with them, you can get another one. And you schedule sessions with them online. Just talk to them. I think either text or video. And just it's like a more convenient therapy service. And the only reason why I am not fully advocating them is because there was a scandal about 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, where they're like doing some shady shit, but I think that has been cleared by our good friend Philip DeFranco, our number one subscriber. Philip DeFranco.
Don't lie to people.
I wish. But he, I think, went to BetterHelp's headquarters and checked out everything. And I think he okayed them. I'm not sure. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. But the fact that they're still there and they're still being advocated by other YouTubers, and I don't know if Philly D still does that. But yeah, it's a service. If you guys want to try it, go to betterhelp.com/shit show extravaganza for 10% discount. I'm joking. I don't know. We're not we're not sponsored, but yeah, no, I definitely implore you to seek help if you need help.
Yeah.
And if it's a service that makes it easier that you don't even have to leave the house, bless the fuck up.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to the point you were making. Sorry for getting into better health. I mean, no, it's healthy to know these things. But um, what you were saying that people, yeah, friends and the burden. See, here's okay. Do you know the common joke where they say when a girl? This is like old school jokes. Now that people stop being assholes, they stop making these kind of jokes. But like mid 2000s and shit, when they used to say that when a girl complains to you, she's not looking for an answer. She's looking for just someone to vent to. Nowadays, I don't think it's just a girl thing. I'm pretty sure it's an everyone thing that sometimes when you're venting, you're not necessarily looking for a solution. You're just looking to release whatever is inside of you. And that's why it requires multiple sessions of hanging out with the same friend so that friend can slowly begin to give you advice. But then here's the important thing is that your friend is probably not a trained specialist in dealing with these kind of scenarios, and they could give you good sound advice. But just because something worked for someone like them, it might not work for someone like you.
Right.
And that's why for friend, like venting to friends is simply just venting.
Yeah.
It is not the solution of overcoming stress. It's just, releasing it, but not removing the source of it.
I just think in those relationships you need to be explicit. Like there's nothing wrong with outright asking, now when you rant, do you want me to just listen or do you want my advice? Like there shouldn't be a problem with asking that question because like you shouldn't just assume your friends know how you want to respond. Like I don't know. Just like, practice healthy communication, being clear with what you want and what you need. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I think in this day and age we should start practicing it rather than just, getting upset because they're not reading our minds.
Yeah. But here's another big issue, I think, is people who have issues, things that stress them on a daily basis. And again, I think this wasn't supposed to be a podcast about these deeper issues. It's supposed to be like, oh man, my boss was an ass today. Yeah. I'm so angry kind of thing, Yeah. Or fuck, I didn't study. I kind of failed my exam. Fuck kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now we're getting into, I have an existential crisis. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Which it's still stress regardless.
Yeah.
And I think a big issue with this is when someone's facing these kind of issues, it takes a while for a person to fully acknowledge that they have maybe depression or anxiety or they have an issue. There's a huge step of denial that comes with it first. That you're like, I'm just going through a small thing right now.
Yeah.
This will not spiral to something bigger. But it did. And because of that, your first thought as someone who's having an issue is, I don't need to go see a therapist. It's like when you sneeze and you're like, fuck, I have cancer. Like it's not. It's like WebMD. They kind of reach extremes, but chances are it's the common flu. Obviously, I'm not. Please don't take this seriously. I'm just giving an example how sometimes when you're sick, you have a fever and you're like, it's nothing big, but big. Usually the case with a lot of scenarios. But that's why when you have an issue and you don't think it's that big of an issue or it's going to spiral, your first exposure to an outlet, someone you can speak to, is usually a close friend. And that first experience or the first few experiences can really set you up for either a healthy mental state or a very shitty mental state. Because if your friends are one of those people that are like, oh, stop bitching around. So what if you had this one small issue? There's people out there dying, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you have one of those friends that respond like that, when you know, see, this is the issue, is you start thinking like, oh, I'm so blessed. I live in a healthy, I'm healthy. Otherwise, physically, I'm healthy. I'm I'm economically, financially well off. I am okay in all aspects of life, but there's things inside of me that I don't fully comprehend or what I'm feeling, and people make you feel bad for feeling this way because you're not supposed to have a reason to feel that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are gonna say like, oh, what right do you have to feel like shit when we have people out there struggling, trying to make a buck, or struggling, trying to find a home or find happiness? How dare you not be happy?
Those are terrible
I think
friends.
this is, yeah. And it's honestly a mentality that I had at some point before I don't want to say matured, because that's me patting myself on the back. But before I learned that perhaps humans are more complex than we make them out to be. Especially when you're at a younger age, you don't tend to acknowledge the complexities of humans. And this is a common argument that you see aimed towards celebrities, because and successful celebrities. I'm not talking about like people that fell off the fucking rail,
Yes.
I'm not, like fucking broke drug addicts in the middle of goddamn nowhere. I'm talking like relatively healthy, may have a drug problem, but who doesn't when you're that rich? I'm joking. Don't take that as a rule. But I mean, people like Robin Williams, or what's his name? Chester from Linkin Park. What's his last name?
I don't know, but I know who.
Chester. Linkin Park's Chester. Those people have been successful in their fields. They have, all, quote unquote, all the money in the world. They're relatively supposed to be happy. Supposed to be is the key word here. Yet they have resulted in very tragic deaths of taking their own life, and that's no way to live. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're rich. What the fuck? What did they have to complain about?" Like, people out here struggling, but we don't know what they went through. We don't know their lives. Just because you know what they do in Hollywood or whatever music industry, I guess the music industry, there's no other name for it. Like whatever they went through, we know what they're going through, in pop culture, but whatever they're going through at their own homes, inside, which is even more terrifying, how someone's brain and heart can function as a prison. It's not fair for us to reduce their pain to nothing just because they've been blessed with certain aspects in life, because they could be missing crucial things that we have. For example, and I think this is the biggest example. I'm just gonna use this example to lighten the mood, because we just got into suicide a little bit.
Yeah.
The common story of the tale of two. The Prince and the Pauper. If you guys don't know the story of the Prince and the Pauper, there's, I think, a Disney movie too about Mickey Mouse. But the Prince and the Pauper
there's a Barbie movie.
There's a shit ton of different versions of Prince and Pauper, but it's a prince who didn't want to be a prince anymore, wanted to live amongst the commoners. And then there's a pauper, which is I think those things that you throw on the ground and they just pop, that wanted to be a prince. No, I'm joking. The pauper is a poor person that wanted to live in royalty. He hated the fact that he was poor. And so these two characters often look way too alike, and therefore swap places when they ran into each other. As you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And by living through that kind of life, they enjoyed this new life, but at the same time gain more appreciation to their own. But it's basically the idea that the grass is always greener on the other side.
Mm.
By indicating that you understand what another person is going through, you are already limiting your ability to understand them because you're using your own experiences exclusively to read through another person. Now, obviously, there's no other way of communicating experiences to perhaps make a link, a connection with the other person, but that's not the guiding rule for them as well. You can say like, I did this when I was going through this, but in your case it could be different. This is just what I went through. That's healthy. When you're saying I was able to get out of this slump, you should be able to do the same. That's hard. You don't know what they're going through, you know?
Yeah.
It demeans the person. Wow, this is really turning into a different subject.
It really is.
It demeans the person's ability to fully accept their position in life and be able to overcome the troubles. Instead, it makes them feel like they're weak and they're incapable of overcoming these issues because they're weak, as opposed to I'm different. I'm going through something that's different. I'm not saying that you should be, the unique snowflake. Well, nobody understands me kind of thing. No, I'm saying that each person does have a unique story in their life, but it doesn't justify. Also, just to not play devil's advocate, but to play the other side. Just because you're going through shit doesn't give you the excuse. Like that, it's not an excuse if
Wait,
if you're
what?
an asshole.
Sorry. Well, oh, okay.
Just because you're going through shit doesn't give you the right to be. I get it that sometimes things reach a fever pitch and you kind of break down and start, lashing out because that's a way to cope sometimes. But it's inexcusable, I think.
I agree.
What are your thoughts on this, Erica, on this topic that was supposed to be not this deep?
I agree with everything. I think there's not gosh. Yeah. The last thing is the only thing I can remember. I forgot everything else you just said. But
Thanks.
no offense. I'm trying to recollect my thoughts. But yeah, I agree. Like it's one oh God, what's that quote? Like, it's more about your perspective on things rather than the things that are actually happening. Like, sure, you can't control the things that happen to you, but you can control how you react to them. And I think that's really important to remember. So, like, a lot of the times, like, I can safely say this year has not been the best for me. It's a pretty shitty year, but it hasn't but I still think that like it's not anyone, out to get me. It's like I'm not a victim in this situation, like I don't want people to feel bad for me because I'm going through a hard time. I don't want people to go easier on me because I'm having a hard time. It's just, just a matter of like kind of understanding that you have the powers to your own emotions and that is the best way to go through things. And I get it, like even like Robin Williams and Chester, like, there's some things that are beyond normal help, just talking to friends and stuff. So I understand, I'm very empathetic towards depressed people and I understand it's hard, but don't be an asshole, please. That's the least you can do.
I think I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
Oh, and I absolutely hate it when people are like, well, like, you have no reason to be sad. It's like, first of all, you little shit. Like, you're not, like, you just kind of think of it this way. Like, you're not going to go up to someone and be like, why are you happy? You have no reason to be happy. You don't go to people and tell them that, like, why should you be happy you got promoted? There's someone else who's the CEO. Like, you don't, it's weird to do that. So I think we should see sadness as the same way where we're like, why should you be sad? Like, you have a house? Like being sad or being depressed is like multi-surface. Like there's more to it than just having the things you need, you know? And I think
Yeah.
people forget that. And I think in modern society, a lot of people lose compassion for those who feel like that. So it's really sad, but that's my take on something that was not the initial topic we
Yeah.
decided on. All right, so we kind of derailed from the initial topic, which is stress. Sorry, but if you've learned anything new, there you go. You're welcome. But one of the reasons why I said, "Oh, why am I so fucking grumpy?" is because I
Ducking
started.
grumpy, excuse you.
Yeah, sorry, ducking grumpy. I realized that I was overworking myself, and I was committing to way too many things, and it was stressing me out. And I think what I was doing was just getting angry at everyone that talked to me. Like they would say something, they would breathe, and I'd be like, "What the fuck, dude? Can you not? Like that's so rude." Like they'll be like, I'll be like, "Shut the fuck up, you attention-seeking whore." Like, it was like that, and then so like that's basically what I was like thinking about stress, not emotional turmoil, where there's clearly something wrong with me and I need to see. Oh my god, my microphone fell.
Where you just fucking clothesline your microphone.
Yeah, I think it's just like those stresses were minor stresses, just like the constant working, that it built up to be so much bigger. So basically what Shaheen and I are trying to say is practice healthy coping mechanisms. You can't see it, but I'm doing like spirit fingers.
Like masturbation.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Anyways, so...
Oh, I thought I was going to get reprimanded for that.
No, I'm supporting of enjoying your body. Anyways...
The milkman, yeah.
To make this more lighthearted, let's talk about stressful things that are mundane, not like,
super deep and painful and keep you awake at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for example, I get very stressed. Well, I mean, this could be deep. But no, I sometimes get stressed out when I'm like driving with a new person. Like, or when someone's really late or like we're running behind schedule to go to Universal Studio, so they whiz by every fucking car.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Listen, I get you from point A to point B in the safest way. Okay, don't at me. Don't at me.
I'm not even gonna complain anymore because at least you didn't, like, I don't know, make someone swerve off the road like Liam did, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not, like, I typically don't get stressed out when people drive because I'm like, yo, like, I'm cool with death, like, I've accepted my fate if this was the day. But then there's, like, I don't know, like, close calls, I guess, like, oh shit, yeah, I'm cool with dying, but like I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah.
So I guess like that's the only time I really felt stressed was going to the Universal, and you were like, vroom, 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 like with all the cars, and I was like, oh fuck, bro, slow the fuck down.
Which time was that? Because we went like what, 2 times?
2 times. That was the second time with Ediko, Yuna, and Ryota. Oh my god.
Was that the second time?
Yeah, that's the second time.
Tore up the streets.
Yeah, that was intense. I mean, but like,
if you guys have not seen me, if you guys have not been passengers in San Diego freeways, because I don't like driving fast, I'll get to that in a sec. Then you haven't lived. But yeah, on the day or like daily things that stress me out, I hate leaving the fucking house. I do. I just fucking hate it. Because the little things would piss me off so fucking much on the street while I'm driving. Like, honestly, traffic laws are optional in Kuwait. They are optional. Okay, so at least when I speed decently responsible.
Mhm.
I only break the speeding law. But when I drive, I use turn signals appropriately. I always use turn signals. And if I'm in the fast lane and someone in front of me is going slow, I don't honk or flick my lights at them. I just switch lanes with turn signals. I don't want to ruin someone else's day just because I'm in a hurry or just driving fast because hey, that's a stress reliever for me. Look at that.
Driving?
Anyway, like not driving fast to a location in which the GPS said I was gonna arrive, at this time, and I shave off like 5 to 10 minutes. I think that's just the joy of my life. Anyway,
Okay.
um, but yeah, at least I been stopped by the police? I'm not gonna answer that. Have I have I caused any accidents? No, but also yes. But those are different stories for different times with different details. I don't know if I'll ever share. But my record is clean legally, and but here in Kuwait, it is it's a shit show, is what I'm trying to say. While I'm driving, and these are the things that I hate. They don't use turn signals like at all. Okay, like you don't know where they're gonna go. It's a fucking game. You're like, oh, going right, going left, because you know what? They drive in the middle of the fucking like they don't drive in one lane.
Mhm.
They bleed into two lanes at the same time. So you're like, where are we going? What's happening? Am I going past you? Are you going the same lane? That's one thing that really pisses me off. Two, when you're driving at the fast lane at maximum speed, at the maximum legal speed of the freeway, and someone speeds right behind you driving like I don't know. So the maximum speed in most freeways in Kuwait is 120 kilometers per hour. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't know how to translate that. I apologize. Look it up.
How much you say?
120, which
Yeah.
I believe is nothing compared to how fast I drive in the States.
74. It's pretty
Like
fast.
my average is 80. My average is 80 in San Diego, and that's my
Usually
legal average.
the speed limit's 60, so it's a lot higher.
I'm I'm a wild man. But
Mhm.
anyway, so someone drives behind me at like fucking 200 kilometers per hour, and if you don't, they're not gonna. They're the nuisance on the street. But instead of them avoiding you by switching lanes with turn signals, instead they would stop right. They'll tailgate you. For those that don't know what tailgate is, it's when someone gets in your ass while you're driving. And then they'd start flickering their lights until you move out of the road. And it's so fucking annoying.
If this car
I
were to
wish I was
crash, they would die.
like, I want to be a police officer that's not driving a police car, so that when someone does that to me, I'm like, wee wee, like fuck that shit up, you know.
Not you.
And you know what else is annoying? There's little to no repercussions to people who speed because connections. You get stopped by a police officer. Oh, it's okay. My cousin, my uncle, my dad works in this police station, in this government, whatever. So just fucking, don't look at me while I'm driving. This is not a political podcast, but boy, golly gee, am I just not happy about it. And you know what also really, really bothers me? Littering. Littering really bothers me.
Turning into pet peeves.
It is, but that's what stresses me the fuck out. So while I'm driving and someone is smoking, and then they roll down the window and they just throw their cigarette out the window, or they throw their trash out the window, I am absolutely livid. I get so fucking angry. It is I hate when people litter. Why are you littering?
What?
Like, you know what? I'm not here to even sound racist, but if you're an expat, which is most of Kuwait, why are you littering in someone else's country? Like, at least respect the laws of okay, they see, that's the argument. Why would they respect the laws if the Kuwaitis don't respect the laws? This is not a political podcast. Fucking hate it. Anyway, sorry, I am connecting stuff.
I find it very, very stressful when things aren't aligned. So
Like, is that some low-key OCD stuff?
I guess, but I think that's I think it's me just being more meticulous rather than OCD. But
Yeah.
because it's not like I can't stop thinking about it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if, like, for example, I see someone put a poster up and it's not a lot, like, I don't know, like aligned or
But
straight, bugs the hell out of me, and I'm
yeah.
like, I gotta fix it.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh man, I can't live.
Keeps you up at night.
But I do tell you,
Um,
so
what?
recently I got a new phone,
Yeah.
and I put a screen protector on it because I don't trust myself, and it's not put on perfectly. And for a whole hour yesterday, I was just looking at it, wanting to cry, because I'm like, it's done. This was $49 fucking dollars, and I can't take it off. If I do that, I'm just gonna fuck it up even more. And like, I was just like, my heart was in my stomach. I was like, about to have a panic attack. Like, I fucking ruined my whole life with this shit. Like, my future's over. But now I just try to ignore it in hopes that it doesn't bother me anymore.
You know what stressed me out recently?
What?
So my mother, bless her, I always say that apparently when I say my mom, but she is very supportive of a lot of my endeavors,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that she, as a religious person, like very religious person,
Mm-hmm.
does not fully stand with some of the content I create. However, because she's the best mom out there, fight me, she still supports me. In fact, she was like, Shaheen, create a YouTube channel for me. She didn't say this specifically. She said a lot of words that mean things, but I linked them together because she's not tech savvy. But she's like, create a YouTube channel or YouTube account for me, and you can follow your podcast. And I said, Mom, I love you, but I will not do that for you unless you're an actual fan. I don't want just fluff subscribers. I want people that actually care about the content.
Mm.
Now, the reason why my mother doesn't follow the content is because her English is not on par. It's not really that. It's pretty basic, like fresh off the boat basic.
Mm.
So she's not gonna understand any of the shit we're talking about. But I do, because I respect my mom and I want her to be in the know. I do let her know anything that she doesn't approve of ahead of time. So I'd say shit like, "Hey, mom, I cuss in this podcast." And then she said, "No, Shaheen, why you do that?" And I'm like, "Listen, mom, it's called Shit Show Extravaganza. The show has a cuss in it. It's it's not like I'm on here cussing 24/7. It's just that when I want, I should be able to, you know."
Mm-hmm.
My mother's like disappointed, but she's like, "It's fine." So when I showed her the YouTube account on her phone, she pressed the latest episode at the time, which I believe was the Dream one,
Mm-hmm.
episode 17. And then I was really uncomfortable because the thing is, I don't mind if she hears me talking or whatever. Just what if I said something? And guess what? Usually in these episodes, I don't cuss immediately, you know? But this is the only episode where right after we said our introductions, I said, "Bless the fuck up." And then my mother, when I stopped the video, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's enough." And then she said, "Didn't you just say a bad word?" I'm like, "Why do you know? Why do you know these bad words? You're supposed to be very minimal in English, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? Let me live, mom. I didn't ask to be born. I just run to my room. No, no. She accepted the fact that I'm a degenerate and that um, my delinquency will never be quenched, and therefore she has accepted me for who I am. Thank you, mom.
Thanks,
Shout out
mom.
to my mom because she's my mom.
Snaps to your mom.
I was a C-section baby, so I definitely gave her a hard time right off the bat.
Oh my god, my brother was a C-section, not me because I'm perfect.
Yeah. I bet that stresses my mom. Like this, me as a child. Here's how stressful I was as a child for my mother. Wow, you didn't expect this kind of storytelling. But basically when my mom was pregnant with me, first of all, I started off as a twin, and then I ate my sibling
Please tell me that's not
because
a joke.
well, I was a twin. That's not a joke.
Oh man.
Did I eat him? Did he die? Did he just go with the blood? I don't know what happened. They just didn't find the other one. I was the only one alive.
Oh my
Perhaps
god,
we
maybe
fused.
that's why you're
Perhaps that
so
explains.
powerful. You one was shot
I
and
absorbed my
one twin was shot and the other one was he.
like Highlanders. Just yell at him. There can only be one. But yeah, but no, he was gone early on in the stages of what's it called? Of pregnancy. Yeah, yeah. So, um, first of all, my parents couldn't figure out my gender
Nice.
because I covered my penis in the womb when I was in just in there. Just I was really secretive about my life, so they were like, "What are we gonna have?" And they're like, "We don't know. He's just not showing anything. He has his thighs closing. He has his hands lowered." And then I was like, "Great." Second of all, this is how annoying of a baby I was. I was upright. I was not upside down. I was not in what's it called? There's terms for this, but I was not comfortable birth position.
Yeah, you're supposed to
I wasn't
be...
head first.
Yeah.
I was sitting as I would on my couch right now. You know what I mean? So, like that's how annoying I was. And then when they were gonna do the C-section, they injected my mom, or they gave my mom whatever it is to knock her the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who immediately took that medicine? Me. I was born high. That's how bad I was.
Oh my god.
I was already knocked out. As soon as they pulled me out, they're like, for fuck's sake, this kid is just not cooperating. Which is further proof that I never asked to be born. I was really yanked out of my mother's stomach. But yeah, that's I was also the first boy they've had. So it was quite the ooh, look, we have a boy now to add to our girl collection. I remember those days, man, simpler times when I was in the womb. With my twin brother, Muhammad, bless you, bro. But yeah, long story short, I'm an ass.
Nice. My brother.
Anyway, do you want to... I'm sorry, what?
My brother strangled himself in the womb.
With the cords?
He wrapped it around his neck, so my mom had to get a C-section.
Wow, he's worse than me.
What a fucking asshole.
He's a lot worse than me.
I was normal. I came out.
Yeah. I heard it's difficult to go back to normal birth after a C-section, but
nope.
My other two siblings came out fine.
Yeah, same here.
So I guess whatever show I was watching was full of shit.
Man, 1995 kids are just unhinged.
Yeah, we're here, we're queer, and we're ready to destroy everyone. And we're back. Choice Awards. We're going to the People's Choice Awards. We asked you guys on Instagram, which is at SHKV1. There's people that were wondering, what about the people that don't have me on Instagram? How do they participate? Well, here's my Instagram. Anyway, the question was, how do you deal with a bad/stressful day? And one of the answers that I would like to cover is, oh yeah, by the way, both of us selected 3 out of the many answers that we got, which is great. One of the answers was poop. Personally, I have stress poops. They're great. They kind of just, you physically get the stress out.
Don't you guys have a G-spot in your asshole?
Why you gotta ruin things?
I'm just saying, maybe
yeah,
that's
we have
why.
a G-spot in our assholes, but
that's probably why.
You think I'm enjoying it sexually? You know what? I'm never gonna poop again. I hope you're happy.
I think, honestly, I don't enjoy pooping. I've never met a girl.
Well, sometimes when it's a big poop, and then you feel like a weight has been lifted.
I'm pretty sure that's because you hit the G-spot. Whatever.
You know what? I'm gonna do more research, and I'm also gonna stop talking to you for a while, just to figure things out. Okay. But yeah, the poop thing. The thing is, I've done a little bit of research about poop in regards to stress, and usually when people are stressed out, they're constipated and therefore don't poop. Meaning, this does not help your point, Erica. I'm just saying there might be more to this pooping thing. I'm gonna move on before I feel any more disgusting than I already am. The next one that I wanted to select. Oh, so there's a personal attack out here. Someone said not call Shaheen. I was there when that person wrote it. We were in the same room. I made eye contact after I saw it. You know what? Don't call me. I think I'm a pretty helpful and supportive friend. I'll be there for you. You know, this is a reference to friends as well. But I've lent an ear to many people. I've been there for people, and perhaps I don't always offer the best advice, but you know what? I'll listen to you. So don't listen to this guy. Call Shaheen, but not all the time, just because you might hit me with something that's too much for me, which I don't know what it is, but let's not reach that limit. And then the last one, oh man, I might do a fourth one just because I forgot to discuss it.
Okay.
I kind of did. But anyway, the third one is sing while driving. I agree. Sometimes you just gotta perform in the car while you're driving.
That sounds wrong.
Usually when I'm coming back from emotional or stressful situations, nothing beats just pumping up the tunes, singing in the car, just letting it all out. It's easier in San Diego because everyone dies after 9 p.m. Nobody's on the streets as much, except in like bar focused, club focused areas. And the streets are longer because Kuwait's small. So every time you stop, there's always someone looking at you. So you're like, I don't want to sing. I don't feel comfortable singing. But in San Diego, yeah, I sang more. I had a good time driving. And just to steal a fourth one, sorry, Erica. I forgot to elaborate on exercise just by saying, I agree. Exercise is also one of the best ways that I've been dealing with either stress or migraine. I actually hate the gym. I hate working out, but it both fulfills the productive part of me and in general, the just sweating, getting all that shit out, all that anger and hate. If you had that, I even did a little bit of research, and yeah, it's the endorphins that spike during workouts, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I do think that exercise is very helpful for me when I'm going. Also, the fact that exercise usually leads to confidence in who you are. That sense of confidence trumps stress. But it hurts when you've been working out for 2 months and then someone said, Did you gain weight? And you're like, oh, okay, thanks. Oh, thanks. Thanks for undoing everything I've been working on for the past 2 months. I don't feel like shit. Erica?
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, so my turn now. It's fine that you have 4 because I kind of have 4 too.
You snuck in a fourth one?
No, I didn't. But the first one I have, the person wrote music, video game. I can't speak.
Video game. Yeah. Did you just get queuing Erica?
Video games. Yay.
Wow. Okay. That's a very rare appearance.
Crying and mostly crying. I do all 3 at the same fucking time. I'm blasting twice. I'm playing Fire Emblem, and I'm crying my eyes out. Yeah. So I agree with video games because it's Did we talk about this? I feel like we did.
Briefly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a type of I can't speak. Escapism. So I just said that's why I constantly ask people tell me games I can play that have good storylines, because rather than the gameplay itself, I rather focus on the storyline so that I forget about my own life I'm so fixated on storylines because one of my favorite games has a really good storyline and I can't remember the game because I'm I'm brain dead. Oh my gosh, what game? Oh, yeah, it was, Um, it
Chrono
was
Trigger.
it was one of the first PlayStation 3 games.
Oh, could
Mm,
be anything. I don't fucking
no,
know.
it was like literally one of the first ones to be released on the PlayStation 3.
Is it an RPG or?
Oh man, it's with give us the girl and wipe away your debt. Like that's the third game of the series. Oh, give
God of War.
us the girl and wipe away your debt. If you guys figure this out before I do, congrats. Um, BioShock. So the BioShock
Oh,
franchise, love one of my favorite games. Like I love the storylines for each game. Like, so I always think like, man, I want to play games with storyline. Storyline helps me with deal with stress. Um, Also, I just remembered scary video games give me so much stress that I can't even complete them because I'm a little bitch. Um, Crying helps. Crying's good. Sometimes I cry too much and then I get headaches, but you know, that's just how the coochie crumbles. And
I also read that the tears that you shed are what's it called? Stress tears.
there's different type of tears.
Apparently, but I feel like this is some hippy dippy shit. But if it's actual science, someone correct me in the comments below.
All right, and then a lot of people share the same sentiment of crying because like, what else can you do when the earth is a bitch, right? Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Someone also said lay in bed and watch anime, in which I agree because I too watch anime. Maybe not just anime though. I like to watch a lot of adult
Live action adaptations of anime,
yeah, like Death
video game
Note.
anime,
Realize
uh,
my life isn't that
anime
bad.
movies, anime specials, some hentai on the side, read
Uh,
some anime.
Wraith. Um,
Read?
um. Oh no, I like to watch adult cartoons. Like I really like American Dad and Futurama. Like those are my two favorite. Like I have watched probably for Futurama at least I have watched each season at least 10 times.
Oh
Like
fuck.
yeah, I cannot tell you how much I love Futurama and then despite how many times I watch the show there's always something different I laugh at. So I really love Futurama. Anyways, my last one is I honestly forgot. What was my last one?
Are you gonna do the gym and beer thing or?
No, I was joking about that, but I picked something else. Oh, I would say I'm just gonna pick another one again because I forgot. So my last one would be. Oh no, I lost it. Okay, where'd it go? Why is there so many pictures? There it is. Okay, my last one is gonna be even though like I discussed this before. Food and tears. We already talked about crying, but I don't think we appreciate food for what it does for us, you know? Not only does it
Yeah.
give us sustenance, but it makes us happy. I definitely stress eat. Like, I need to. I have the treat yourself mentality. So if I'm stressed out, I'm like, girl, get yourself a smoothie at Yamayu's. Yeah, I go to
Yamba you.
Yamayu's or Bombaboos. You know, whatever. Just don't call it by its actual name. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I'll treat myself. Be like, oh, girl, you failed that exam. You should go get Chipotle and you know yeah, so I really do have that treat yourself mentality, so I eat a lot. I get Oreos. Yeah, I'd be like, you know,
Oreos.
I'll be like, girl, you walked a mile yesterday, let's buy a cake.
I did some research in regards to food and stress.
Uh-huh.
Turns out, um, eating healthier foods lower your chances of getting stressed. However, unhealthy food has the power of endorphins
Oh yeah.
to compensate for that. So
uh
because when you eat something like ice cream, which is
mhm.
someone mentioned, or in our case, just a shit ton of Korean barbecue.
Ooh.
That shit. See, I'm hungry, but when you eat that shit, it makes you happy, and therefore removes the stress.
Yeah.
Stress. But with like long term dealing with stress, it is recommended to consume healthier meals
Whack.
in order to.
No.
I'm just saying what I read. I'm not. I'm
So,
clearly
like,
I'm not on muscle and fitness magazines, but I'm just saying.
question: can I, like, when I go to Chipotle, can I get salad instead of rice, and that will suffice, or do I have to
To
go
be
like
honest, Chipotle is pretty healthy, most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like protein.
Yeah, but I don't make it
They have,
healthy. Like, I fuck that shit
yeah,
out.
granted, when you throw sour cream cheese,
Don't
and then
call me out.
you throw what's it called? The queso. They added queso too. Throw
Yeah.
queso in there. 2 types of beans, all meats except the tofu because that's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 piece of lettuce because you don't want to get E. coli. So at that point, yeah, it's healthy.
I'm like, wait, aren't you trying to say it's healthy? Like, why are you talking shit about it? But um, I respect your advice, but I politely decline it. So I'm gonna do me.
I respect your choice to decline, and I implore you to live your life the way you want to.
Thank you.
And that's what did you say? Coochie crumble. That's why the
And
coochie
that's how the
crumbles.
coochie crumbles.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode.
It was a whirlwind of
It
what?
was it was a roller coaster. We started off with a lighthearted topic about us being normal human beings, and then we discussed how being a normal human being is actually complex and stressful, and there's so many layers to people, and where you can seek help. And then we went back to hating people on the streets. So it's I'd say it's a full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I grew up as a person.
Yeah, character development and
Yeah, I think I aged about 3 hours, depending on
yeah,
how long
we
we
talked.
recorded.
Yeah, like an hour and 14 minutes, briefly, more or less.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for reaching the end of this episode, and to
Thanks.
reward you with a
Oh. Ow.
right,
Okay.
right,
Okay, we have our
back in business. Also, please do not leave the video. We have one more announcement. Next week is our last episode of the first season. It's our season finale. I just said the same sentence twice. But yeah, look forward to it. We will be taking a short break after next week's episode, and then we will return in about a month. But yeah, thank you for supporting us through, and we will be discussing the final season in the final season episode. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.